it's only seldom that a guilty policeman is put behind bars.
Integrity has been on a high and low, even in the police force. Integrity. People have not been dismissed as much as they should have been. So toleration, the zero tolerance to corruption also has been more stated rather than implemented.
Interrogation according to scientific methods needs time and energy and patience and skill, and they don't have that. Look at the number of cases which an average investigating officer has. The National Police Commission did a study and said that they should not be at any one time have more than 8 cases in their hand. An average investigating officer, ASI or a sub-inspector, some of them have 50, 60 cases. So what do? They don't investigate at all. And they do these what they call fuzzy investigation, which is all on paper. And this is very unfortunate.
There is no human institution in our country which inspires so much distrust and enmity as the police. The fault does not lie with the individual policeman, but with an outdated police system. The police force is a coercive apparatus of the government. It is the most visible symbol of the state authority. Recommendations for police reforms made by various police commissions, both at state and national levels, are always kept in cold storage. All because of vested interests, bureaucratic and political.
See, look at the system, which it has declined, and we've not addressed it. And why have we put police reforms on the back burner? Some reforms were within the hands of the police commissioners. They were not determined to implement them, which was within their own hands. And some which were beyond their control, they not implemented them at all. That is within the political and bureaucratic will, which is absent.
You see their working conditions, you see the barracks in which they stay. And they stay in worse than slum areas. Now, having your policemen in those living conditions, naturally they get desensitized. Apart from that, they are so much overworked.
The priority areas for consideration for police should be recruitment. If the foundation stone is crooked, the wall cannot be straight.
You go through the motions like in the army, where training is given a lot of importance. In the police, training is given no importance.
And training. There is a dichotomy between the idealistic assumptions of the training institutions and the ground realities.
Their postings, their transfers, their promotions should be done on merit and seniority and not on the basis of nepotism and corruption.
There needs to be an open door policy or a trinity of the police, press and public.
Police cannot work in isolation, they cannot remain in their ivory tower, which is probably what is happening today.
Diversion of police staff to non-police tasks must stop, and the emphasis should be on optimum utilization of scarce resources.
It's diverted towards huge amount of VIP security. It's diverted towards a lot of law and order. They haven't really still separated investigation from law and order. Truly bifurcating it at the police station level. They ought to practice this.
The outdated 1861 Police Act must be revised. The police are agents of the law, not of the government.
When people who have no clout, and therefore the law of the land applies to them. People who have some connection, who have very powerful connection, who are mighty people. Now, as you deal with these people, police finds itself very handicapped.
Police is the implementer of the rule of law, and if they themselves are functioning on basis of on political or caste or religious considerations, then we have serious trouble.
Vacuum in the trust in the criminal justice system, and that trust also takes, just as it gets lost over a period, it has to be revived with a huge amount of visible policing, honest policing, committed policing, sensitive policing, dedicated policing with the common man.
It's obvious that the police system requires a complete reform, whether it's personnel, training, equipment. Until the Indian cop starts upholding the law, they cannot be the rightful enforcers. The executive has to stop using them as a tool to suppress dissent in civil society. We all hope that day comes very soon that the sense of distrust that we feel when we see a cop is replaced by a sense of security.